Welcome to our live streams. This is where the grown-ups trade. No hype, no flexing, no TikTok guru nonsense. Just focus, discipline, and respect for the craft. Here we trade gold, the oldest store of value on Earth, at the precision scalping level. That's where trading gets real. Where a single tick too early or too late decides everything. It's the hardest style of trading there is. And the highest form, too, because it demands mastery of mind, structure, and emotion. Execution over ego. Reaction over prediction. Can it be the most lucrative? Yes, but only for those who earn it. There are no shortcuts here. You can't fake discipline at 10-second speed. Most gurus out there sell you dreams from their demo accounts. We build traders who can survive the market on their own terms. We don't promise easy wins. We teach you how to build a system that doesn't break when you do. If you're here, you already know what that takes. Courage, grit, gumption, the willingness to get punched in the face by uncertainty and still show up tomorrow with your rules intact. Because precision scalping isn't just a trading style, it's a mirror. It shows you who you are under pressure, and it forces you to get better, not just as a trader, but as a person. The focus you build here, the emotional control, the ability to act without hesitation, those are life skills. They translate everywhere. So welcome to the Barcelona Trader, where we practice the hardest craft in markets and one of the most rewarding in life. Let's get to work.
Good morning. Good morning. It is 7:43 in New York. $7:43 in New York, and we're here to trade the New York session. Pardon my camera angle. I'm not really dressed for the occasion, just out of bed, looking all scruffy. So, no close-up face shots of me today. You get the back shot, camera up here. Get a little view of my office. I have finished my coffee. I'll move that off the side and replace it with my little bottle of Diet Coke. Because if there's anything that screams drink a Diet Coke, it's 7:44 a.m. All right, let's start taking a look at the charts and seeing where we are. Let's do what we like to do first, which of course is get some smooth jazz going in the background. Okay. Let's take a look at, let's say, the 15-minute chart. Let's get rid of the indicators. So here we are. This is our chart. This gray vertical line, Friday's open. This is what happened all throughout Friday on the 15-minute chart. Came up, ended up closing higher than we started, but not by that much. Had a little movement down, a little movement up. Did the hokey pokey. All right, and then we have this turquoise vertical line right here, which is the market open last night, 6 p.m. New York time. Immediately we dropped down to the DM2. Couldn't sustain that. Came back up. Had this nice bounce all the way back up to where we started. And then overnight, through the London session, we've come down, stabilized a bit here, Now we've come down pre-New York, popping back up. Our official session, the official start of our session is in 14 minutes at 8 a.m. But we're not above taking a little trade beforehand if the market says that's what it wants to do. Let's drop down to the 5-minute glass and let's put some indicators back on. Well, first of all, let's go without the indicators again and just show you what we have here marked for pivots. We've been hugging the daily pivot point. That's this purple dotted line that goes across right here. We've been hugging that since about 5:30 in the morning. We did come up. When I sat down, we were more in this range up here, but and that is, I guess, I'm going to go ahead and leave that range sitting right there. We already know. I guess I could make it wider, but then that just kind of gets confusing because then do we want to trade within the range now that our range is, 10 pips? Or is it just less confusing to trade to keep the range smaller? Well, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's not overthink it. It's not that big of a deal. We just need a reference point to know where we started the market. And usually within that range that we start out, we kind of designated a no trade range. But I don't like to keep those kinds of ranges more than 6 pips wide. This one is a 10 pip wide. So let's oh, look at that. What did I do? Did I unfreeze the DPP? I did. Okay, let's freeze that again. And let's unfreeze this one. And let's make our... That was our range before. So that's where we'll leave it. Okay, I'll move that back to, oh, that is on the 5-minute, and we're going to put our indicators back on. Okay. We see our linear regression channel, this downward channel, comes to life when we see, we haven't just been kind of consolidating in this area, we've been gradually kind of coming down. We're at the top of the channel here. We're back into the middle of the channel. So want to come down. So want to come down just to, keep winding its way down, or are we going to try to break this? The 15-minute is in a bit of an upward channel right now, but the broader trend with the 1 hour is still in a downward channel. So I guess we're going to keep our eye on that. Over here we have the dollar on the 30-minute up here on top, and down here on the bottom right we have the dollar on the 1-minute. That's the DXY. The dollar index is measured against a basket of 7 other currencies. And then over here on the left we like to keep our eye on the 10-year US government bond yield. Both the bond yield and the dollar tend to move inversely with gold. So we just kind of use it as another indicator to confirm or invalidate our thesis, our hypothesis. Gold volatility index, low and dropping, and the VIX pretty subdued as well. Okay, let's bring the music down just a touch. And let's open the Zoom room. And there we go. The Zoom room is open. All right, let's see. What trades are we looking for right now? Well, we seem to have some, we seem to have some selling pressure here, but we are also sitting right on top of an established support here on the 1 minute chart here on MT4. You can see that right here where my cursor is. Big support area there. You can also see it on this chart, which is the 15-minute. I'm gonna make that big. You see that support right there we're sitting on right now. Right there. That is, we're gonna have to push through that and get through the bottom of that before I would be comfortable taking a trade. And let's see, to do that, you're talking 46.98. And again, so remember, we're not just sitting on the daily pivot point, we're also sitting on the psychological level of 4,700. Right now we are at 4702-ish, 4701.71, 4702. So, we're sitting right on that. We still haven't abandoned that 4,700. So a psychological level, that's going to be bought over by the algorithms and by institutional money. So we kind of want to stay out of that until we have a little more clarity on what the market wants to do today. So without a doubt, we are in a sit on your hands moment. It is Monday. So what that means is, there's usually no news releases on the economic calendar for Mondays. There are exceptions, but today, got nothing from the US during our session. So everything will be driven by technicals and Donald Trump posts to Truth Social. So let's start looking at Truth Social. Just keep it open there with the alerts. The full analysis is on Facebook. You can see that at if you just go to Facebook and you search for groups. Our group is called Gold Traders dash XAUUSD and Futures. There you get twice daily analysis. You can also join our Discord. I don't have that information yet up on the website, but I'll get that there today. Looks like it's going to come down and really go into our resistance zone right here. You can kind of see what's going on here. See how it's pushing down into that resistance zone right there? That is, you know, if it can push through, then it's got, you know, a little more ways to come down, and it's going to hit another support zone right there. Although that's untested. But I don't know. I mean, on the way down, it's got some support to overcome. If the market and price were so inclined, it looks like we have fewer obstacles, fewer areas of resistance if we were to go up. It would be easier to trade. But market doesn't ask me. All right, we've got 1 minute or 8 o'clock. Okay, looks like we might try to push upward. Three, two, one. Pushing back up into our zone, but looks like that has kind of petered out. Wanted to go up, but then just couldn't do it. Okay, that was an interesting spot to come down from. because it was right at the bottom of our box, where that box was acting as support when we first sat down. But now it's got a little resistance to it. There are some passive sellers sitting up there. Probably not too many. And if we just gonna have to kind of wait this out as we look at this on the 1 minute chart. This box here is where price was in this little range here when I sat down and started doing my charting this morning. We've had we've had one failed breakout to the bottom, another breakout to the bottom, which has tried just a moment ago to come back into our original zone, failed to do that, now seems to be coming down again. So we do have, we are seeing some bearishness in the market right now, but we're sitting right on top of the pivot. This little purple dotted line there is the daily pivot point. So you wouldn't want to trade down into that anyway. You've only got 1 or 2 pips of a range before you hit there. And sure, it could slice through there. You might be able to pick up a little bit, but why take a trade with such probable short potential? Little potential, I would say, if you go short. And then you've got a swing low below that. You'd rather wait for price to get down here below the swing low and still show some bearish momentum and have it come down. You've got at least down here to the fixed value area low to take profit. But then again, not always necessarily true, because we have this big support sitting right here too. So really, until you get below that and below that yellow line there, you still don't want to trade, because there's just too many obstacles, too many things on our chart telling us that that trade is lower probability than other setups that the chart can show us. So most of the time, if you're just getting started, you're waiting for a signal, right? You're waiting for whatever it is. If you're thinking about a buy, you're looking for 2 to 2.5 flat-bottomed Hakanashi candles in a row. And even better if those candles are increasing in size. But, so that would be your signal. That would be get in, that's the trade. But before you can get in on that trade, you have to check all the other indicators. First thing, are you at a minor or a major level? Well, okay, if no, right, because maybe you're in the middle of the range and you're seeing those flat bottom candles. So the first thing in your checklist would be, nope, we are not at a minor or a major level. So scratch that. That invalidates the trade. That's the reason not to take it. Let's say you are at a minor or major level. Then the next question is, are you hitting a major resistance zone? If you are, can't take it. Are you, even if you are at that zone, are you inside a consolidation box? No, where you are. So no, you can't take the trade. So, most of the time, you've got a reason to take a trade somewhere in your mind. Oh, I should take this one. I think it's going to go down. I think it's going to go up. I think it's going to do this next. Right? And so you're thinking, I'll get in. But then you got to look at all of the reasons not to get in. And if you don't have enough reasons to not get in, and some of your indicators are even telling you to get in, well, that's when you start having higher probability than not chance of it working out. All right, again, let's take it back over here to the 5 minute. Kind of see what's going on. Well, actually, let's do the whole trip around the block. Let's look here at what the dollar's been doing. So since our opening, this is the dollar down here on the lower right on the 1 minute chart. So since 8 o'clock, it is now 8:08, right? So we've had 8 candles. The dollar is dropping. Here we can look at it on a 30-minute chart. We see it's not dropping that significantly. I've got this kind of stretched out over here on the 1 minute chart. It probably really, ought to look something like that. But it is dropping. And as it drops, do we see yields dropping as well? No, yields are rising a little bit. So those are opposing forces. I would say today yields probably matter more. VIX is dropping, gold volatility dropping. So here we are back on our execution page where we have the 1 minute spot gold up here in the upper left, the 1 minute dollar down here on the bottom left. In the middle, we have the 10-second futures chart. That's our execution chart. And over here to the right, we have our Renko, spot gold. And then down here below, we have FX Blue, relative currency strength. The dollar versus gold. We can see right now, oh, look at that little push up. Gold is heavier than the dollar. Gold is weaker than the dollar. So based on that, although it is a lagging indicator, based on that, we should be going down in this red hot moment, not up. So we do not have confluence between our indicators. And, it's always tempting to get into a trade. Why not get in here? Why not take this sell? Looks like it's going down. Looks like it's going down. Yeah, and it might. But it also might not. And I can't consistently look at that pattern and know and know what it's going to do. Especially this close to the pivot. Why this close to the pivot? Because the pivot acts as a magnet. The pivot, The daily pivot point is a point where a lot of institutional traders, a lot of retail traders have calculated, they know where it is. By institutions and large players who want to have a bullish day, they will defend that daily pivot point and try to keep price above it. The same is true for people who want a bullish day. They'll try to keep price below it. So it's a battleground. And as you get close to it, you can have violent swings in either direction that always do tend to get pulled back to the pivot. You know, it's kind of a tug of war. That sometimes this side is winning, sometimes that side is winning. And until one side starts getting a decisive win and starts pulling it away from the pivot in whichever direction, you know, that's where you can kind of get back into it again. But in the meantime, you kind of have to let them fight it out, because it can go either way. And again, that's not all the time. That's like in a day where the market is behaving like it is today. If you have an already trending market that is sailing right through pivots, then, you know, then you have a different read. Yeah, it's 8:13 and I've not taken a trade yet. We have been on since 7:45. Those first 10-15 minutes though are, you know, spent orienting ourselves, checking the charts, understanding the playing field. But yeah, we're 13 minutes into the session. We haven't taken a trade, and that is not abnormal. That happens. A lot of trading is knowing when not to trade. If it's boring, you're doing it right. If it is exciting and emotional and you're clenching your fists, your jaw, whenever you're in a trade, you're not doing it right. You're over risking. You're gambling more than just methodically taking trades that meet your setup. Okay, right now we are at a minor level here. On our way up. Going right into some resistance here. So even though it looks like I've got a clear path here on futures, on the futures chart, I really don't. I'm looking at it here on MT4 as well, which I don't want to flip and show you because, well, right here you can see there's another resistance right here. That's what I'm seeing. I just want to get through that before I feel confident taking anything. But look, the dollar keeps dropping, indicating that that is going to pop through. I think I will go ahead and get into a buy here. I usually wouldn't get in this early, but I see the dollar continuing to drop. I see that we are approaching the 9:20 COMEX open. About 4 minutes. I probably precipitated it. Actually, that's going to be a long 4 minutes, and then it could go against me. It is going against me. This blows. Let's see what we need to do here. Are we coming back up, or are we going to continue down? Alright, so you can see I'm in a sell, and I'm 75 negative right now in this sell. The question is, how long do I want to hold it? Now, the dollar continues to drop ever so slightly, and so I would expect gold to come up. But it got further away from me than I was comfortable with. I'm 24 negative now, 15. I could just get out and say, hey, you know, that was a bad trade. I read it wrong. Take the loss. Go away, lick my wounds. Just get out of it and lick my wounds is what I should do. So I think I'm going to do that. I've got 1 minute now for the COMEX open. So I think it will push up and give me something for my trouble before that COMEX open. And at this point, this is a little bit of a gamble. Smart move to protect my capital right now is an exit. So I exited. And I took a $12 loss. And there goes. It would have given me my money right there. But what I did was protect my capital. After I read the market wrong, I let price come back. Yes, I did feel like it had a good chance of paying me. I felt like I got the market read correct of the direction. But having had it go against me, I just thought, okay, the market's going to give me a better setup, a clearer opportunity to make money. It's the morning is early. Live to fight that next trade without being in the mentality that you have to come back from a loss that you just took, because that trade did go $100 against me before it came back and let me out relatively unscathed. Okay, now we do definitely have the dollar coming back up here, so yeah, now gold should be coming down. Again, I know we just had this conversation where I said that the bonds will be the driving factor more than the dollar. At least today. No joy in Mudville here. Don't see another trade setting up right now. If we look where we are here on the 1 minute chart, this breakout to the downside has failed again. We came back up through, kind of had another failed breakout to the upside. So, you know, in one way you could say the range has expanded. You know, it certainly has. We could draw this down there. But, you know, that's that range isn't meant to border or show the boundaries of the current range that we are in. It was set to show the narrowest justifiable range when we sat down to begin charting our day. So we use this range as a reference point of where we started our day. It doesn't mean anything else. It's just a reference point. Usually on top you have at least a minor resistance, and usually on the bottom you have at least a minor support. So, you know, those lines do serve to show where those will continue to be. But otherwise, it's just a reference point to help us manage our risk. Looks like it wants to come down, and I'm gonna go ahead and take it. I'll go ahead and take that. It was $66. that setup is called our Barceloneta. I'll explain it in a moment. All right, so what happened was price was down here, right? Could have taken a sell into that price here or from here, right? Up there, there it was. Then it consolidated here. And then, so this is like, imagine that this is a beach down here. You're sitting on the beach. This is, you're looking at it for an aerial view. So here's the beach, all of this black area right here. And all out here where price is, that's the water, right? So you're sitting here on the beach and a wave comes in, laps up against the shore, pulls out. Laps up against the shore again, pulls out. And now you see it turning around and it's coming in strong. It's like you're going to catch a big wave. You're going to go surfing. You catch that wave and you ride it into shore. And sometimes it comes into shore and it's such a big wave, it laps all the way up here on the beach and even flows into some of the coffee shops way over here. And that's the kind where you make a lot of money on those. Right, but this was a Barceloneta. Barceloneta is the beach in Barcelona, so that's where the name of that play comes from. It's really just a reversal back to the support. Right, could have made more money on that than I did. I got into the trade. Let's see if I can show it here. I got into the trade right here. And I got out of the trade. Oops, excuse me, stop that. Oh no, excuse me, that was the previous trade. I got into the trade here, right here. And I got out of the trade 2 candles later, right here. So the trade didn't even last 20 seconds. $66 across all of my accounts. Not a bad little payout there for 20 seconds. Of course, that isn't 20 seconds of work. We've been here about 45 minutes. And yeah, no one's writing home about $66 for 45 minutes either, but $66 multiplied across all of your accounts becomes a nice little payout. And again, we're just sitting on our hands, waiting for something to happen. We had a 8:30 tick by there a moment ago. We're at 8:32 now. But again, we had no news releases on the economic calendar today at 8:30 that was going to have much of an impact on gold. So again, we are being driven by technicals and Truth Social. Could we take another Barceloneta here? I don't think so. Not to say price won't do exactly what we want it to do. Just I'm not feeling confident about that right now. Right back down the pivot. Now, yes, this is where we took it down before, the level, you know, but remember, actually it was a little higher. We were above where we are now. We're right above the pivot still. See, sometimes it ends up feeling like you've been here for a long time, that a lot has happened. But then you go back and look where you are on the chart, and you're like, okay, I'm just at the bottom of the range 2 breakdown here. Now it looks like we're getting some downward momentum again. We are breaking through a support. So if that continues, that'll be good. But we're probably going to get a bounce up here before we get a definitive push down. Right back up into the pivot though. So again, you know, you're being around that pivot just ruins everything. Oh, we do have some downward selling pressure here. I don't know. Might be the end of that push, or it might have quite a bit more to it. It's hard to tell. Either way, you're gambling right here. Keep also pushing into another support. Again, I can see a reason not to take the trade, even though I could also see reasons to take it. But reason not to take it is going to have to override right now. Active buyers coming into the market. Question is, are there enough active buyers right now to push this back up? I don't know. So getting into a trade is gambling at this point. It's not telling me it's doing what I think I want it to do. Not quite yet. Again, it's coming right back to the pivot, so I don't trust it either way. Could it get right to that pivot, just bounce back down, or it could push through the pivot? Either way, I'm not in a trade right now, so I don't have any skin in the game. I can not care what it does and just sit on my hands and let that play out. If you are in a trade, I hope it goes your way, whichever way that is. But for my own trade, I'm just going to let it talk to me a little bit more before I accept this dance. Okay, we are seeing a significant strength differential. We are seeing selling pressure. seeing a lot of support here though. On the 5-minute Hakanashi. So it does appear to be weak support. But I don't think that we have a lot of selling pressure here. We have some. Sitting right at 4,700 right now. So it's the pivot and the 4,700 psychological level that is impeding us. I mean, the price action is not fantastic here anyway. It's not like we're missing out on huge, amazing trades due to the fact that we're ranging around the 4,700 level. The price action isn't great either. But any significant moves away from this area have to be treated with some suspicion, because you're right at both of those levels where the algorithms are fighting each other. And we just need to stay out of that. Okay, pushing up now above the pivot. Finally above the pivot. But again, now if we can keep traveling in that direction, that would be great. I don't really trust it here. I'm going to step away for a few minutes. I'll be back. See where we are here. 10 seconds. Three, two, one. Right back up into the pivot. Is that what we're doing? Wishful thinking. I'd like to take it down, but again, we're going right into a support. And even though we have some of that 9 a.m. volume, I don't know if it's enough to push through that support, which is also here at the 4,700 level, being defended by the bulls. Yeah, I'm more likely to believe that. I'll take some of that if there's any left for me. Come on now. Really? Don't like this. Would have expected there to be more in the tank and to have given it to me almost immediately. The fact that it didn't is upsetting. I'm now thinking I should just get out. Thing is, if it goes the other way, it's gonna go the other way. Disappointing if it doesn't have the oomph to get back down. I'm now $100 under, and that includes my. So, all right, 75 now. It's trying to come back down. 30, 42. Do I just get out? That's the question. And I'm feeling like that's the right answer. Just get out. It's not doing what I need it to do. Every moment, though, I'm trying to read the price action, and I'm making these micro decisions. Get in, stay out, get in, stay out. What do I do? All right. I think I... Come on, one little push down. One little push down. I think I get... Oh, come on. I think I get out. I got out. Okay, I think I took a $16 loss. But I think that was the right choice, because look at this. I'm sitting right here on this support here on the 1 minute. Should have seen that when I got in. So yes, I took a loss on that trade, but I preserved my capital. That was the right thing to do. I'm still up for the session. Not by much. That was the right thing to do. Even if it pushes down now, which it is wanting to do. We're sitting on our hands. Right? So our next moment of interest will be the 9:30 equities open. Market hasn't been giving us much to work with, but give us another Barcelona here. We look here at the 1 minute. Okay, remember, we're sitting here at the beach. Tide has come in, hit the shore, it's pulled back out. It's going to turn around and it's going to come back into shore. Certainly will come back into where it was, if not overshoot it, come back further up onto the beach. But again, as I say that, I have to keep in mind that we are hugging the pivot. But here it comes back, as I was saying. I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna take it. Could do it, but my confidence level in it is just not high enough. And I'm not feeling aggressive enough to want to go after this sell. If that's you, I think you have a decent chance. You can go for it. Not financial advice, but Right back up to the daily pivot here. So okay. Just laughing at something that came in on my phone that I can't talk about. I'm feeling like we have a Barcelona coming up here. Right on the pivot. It wants to come below it, but it gets pulled right back into it. And then, you know, I find myself being tugged emotionally between, oh, come on, I just need to make a little bit more this morning, and the fact that, well, hey, the market is just not in a cooperative mood today, so you can't do anything about that. The only thing you can do is not get in the market so it doesn't take any of your money away. All right. Let's take our medicine. How about that? While we wait for something to happen, we take our medicine. Okay, it looks like we're coming down now. I think I'll go ahead and get in here a little bit. Came back on me. Showed me a little bit. Not coming down hard or decisively enough for me, I think, right here. So yeah, in fact, now it's going the opposite direction. Yeah, you know what? Just kind of sayonara on this trade. Took $9, so it's a win. If it's, you know, $5, $6, I call it a break even, but if it's more than that, it's a win. But I'm not happy with the trade. Didn't go the way, there it goes, the way I was thinking it would go. In the time frame I thought it would go in. Again, there's just nothing to trade here. There it goes. It would have paid a little something by there. Does it bother me that it went against me there? Well, no, you mean, does it bother me that it went in my favor after I got out of the trade? I mean, yes, of course, a little bit. It's annoying more than anything. But, you know, I had kind of, I had realized that I had read the market wrong, that if it was a trade that was really worth being in, it would have popped, it would have gone by the time I got out. So I got out, it popped a tiny bit after I got out, you know, okay, whatever. Sitting right at 46.99. Right on the 4,700. Hard to be more precise. There it is right there, 4,700 even. All right, I'm gonna close the Zoom room since we don't have any Zoom room participants right now. Take a little load off the CPU. Still streaming on YouTube. There is 9:30 right there. Just gonna let the algos battle it out there for the level, for the time, for the momentum, for the price. Right into the pivot. Started to show a little bit of momentum there. We also, on the 15 minutes chart, I'm just seeing that we also have the VWAP point of control right there as well. All sorts of reasons that we're having trouble with this level. Both getting through it and getting away from it. Let's see what that 930 has done. Stocks, mostly red, except NVIDIA. A few others. Going right into a support here. So my question I'm asking myself is it worth risking going into the support, but thinking it has the momentum to slice through at least for a while? Can't really tell yet. Support. Going right into a support. right into the fixed value area low, right into a support. It's just too dangerous to take a sell into that. See what I do right here? Let's take a buy right here. I'm taking a sell right here. Taking a buy. Maybe not yet. Can still push through. Maybe. Is this really my trade? I don't have to be in this trade. Not in a trade, so we don't care what it does here. We just wanted to start demonstrating some obvious behavior. Okay, I think it's gonna pop down. But question is, you know, do I want to play this game? It's a little too funky for me. It's a little too choppy. Look at that. Would have gotten into that. I would have thought that's not far enough. And now I would be in the red. And look at that, still going back up. And that would be like, okay, got into that at the wrong time. But hey, is it coming back now? Now I gotta wait for market structure to play out. Why did I do that? Giving away money. Oh shit, now look at it. Now look at what okay, I'm glad I'm not in that trade. I hope you're not in that trade. I still wouldn't feel confident reversing it, you know? I'd still be like, no, look at it. It's coming back. It's trying to come back. I've got the direction right. I know that it wants to come back. It looks like it cleared the support that was in its way on that 1 minute chart when it came down with that wick, but damn if it just doesn't have enough selling pressure to come back down. But since I'm not in a trade, I don't have to have that kind of decision fatigue. Okay. What is wrong with my stats panel? Something's wrong with my stats panel. I think I'm off by one trade, but I can't remember what happened. Anyway, I am slightly up dollar-wise for this session. Vendra. Vendra, vendra, vendra. Ven. Vendra. Aye. Is that what we want to do? No, doesn't feel like it. Because dollar continues to gain strength. I think we're going here. I'm taking a sell. I took 51. I could have stayed in. Do I want to get back in? No, I'm on a support on the 1 minute Hakanashi. Could have stayed in a tad longer if I wanted to be really precise, but I got a good pay out on that one. Anticipated that one well. That was about timing. Here we could have another one, but again, I'm sitting on this little support. It's probably going to break through it. Probably going to break through it. But not, I don't feel confident enough in that I want to take a risk on it. So I'm not going to enter a trade here. I'm going to update my stats panel. No, I don't take it again because strength differential is not what it was. Gold is still weaker, but I don't know that it's gonna slam back down to the lows here like it did before. It might, but kind of looks like that's what it's trying to do. But my confidence in it is lower than it was. And you're starting to see why. Stalling out here. Starting to head back up. Okay. Dollar continues to rise, continuing to show strength. So let's look at what yields are doing. Yields doing the same thing. Yields have been coming down for the last few minutes, but overall in this session we're up. We're up. So the yields are up, dollar's up. Gold probably needs to react to that by coming down farther. How's stocks? Nvidia and Google are green. Apple is red. Microsoft is red. I mean, look at this 1 minute chart. This range right here, we're just printing a barcode. Once we came down, we got away from the pivot up here. Now we're down here, hugging the fixed value area low. We've got the 10 a.m. candle coming up in New York in about 2 minutes. Yeah, I can see that we're gaining some strength here in gold, and that despite the dollar rising in strength, gold is also gaining intrinsic strength. So got 15 seconds for that 10 o'clock candle. We'll see what happens here. I still feel like it needs to come down, but what do I know? Now the dollar has started to decline a little bit from its highs, not from its lows, from its highs. There's 10 o'clock right there. Don't know if that's a sincere move down. Wants to come down. I think it's going to come down, but my conviction isn't strong enough to place a trade. Okay, well, I mean, it is 2 minutes after 10, and this is doing nothing but consolidating. We look at it here on the 1 minute. The last, since 9:30, last 30 minutes or so, it's just been hugging this fixed value area low right here. After it spent a lot of time just hugging the daily pivot. It's given us, barely any good trades. Even the ones that have gone our way have not been, trades worth writing home about. And one of them, I ended up reading the market wrong. It went against me before it paid out. So although the trade was a win, I'm not proud of the trade. Although, yeah, if I'm being really intellectually honest about it, there was, I think I read the market right. It was just some variance that caught me there. So I think what I will do, it's 10:03. This market hasn't been doing anything. I'm getting a little bit of decision fatigue. So I think what we'll probably do is leave things here, and I'll be back at 7:45 p.m. tonight, which is 7:45 p.m. New York time, and that is when we'll get the Asia session going. All right, thanks for sticking around. I'll see you tonight.